And I knew I had to come to Bombay because Bombay is where everything is. So I had to convince my parents to let me go to Bombay. Again, I would not say it's a career thing. It is a totally a personal choice when people do wrong. Right now, I'm doing Anupama, and if somebody comes up to me and recognizes me because of that, it's a good feeling. Definitely. But if somebody recognizes
Hi, hi, welcome to Enlighten with Neha. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Vijay Nisar. What can I say about him? He's a legendary actor.
I had told you not to say legendary, I'm not, I'm just an actor.
He deserves it. He's done more than 20 movies, more than 100 serials. Open. All serial that we all know him from is in the chorus. So today he's here to enlighten us with his journey and inspire us to overcome our challenges and also for inspiring actors with some tips around the craft of acting.
Thank you so much.
He's always very challenging.
Thank you so much, Neha, for such a beautiful and a sweet introduction. And like I would again say, definitely not legendary. A long way to go there. Just an actor who's still learning. An actor's always learning. That's the first step. An actor's always learning. And thank you for having me over here. And look forward to a great conversation with you guys.
It's an honor, sir. So we can't wait to hear from you. Like, how did this journey start? Actually, the milestone. So you're from childhood. Can you take us through a little bit?
So when I was in my school, end of the school days, I knew I either wanted to be an actor or a chef.
Okay.
I also like cooking a lot. So chef was out because back into 90s, if you want to be a chef, you would have to cook non-veg, and I'm a Jain.
Okay.
So I mean, I did not go deep into it, but then at that stage, I felt that yeah, being a chef is out because I would have to cook non-veg. And acting was always a glamorous place to be around. And I've seen, I mean, I used to love movies and uh, used to watch a lot of television at that time. So uh, tried getting into FTII after 10th, but I was told that you need to complete your graduation
Yeah.
to be in FTII. I was very naive at that time, 10th, and from a small town. I'm from Sholapur, town down south in Maharashtra. So I was a very naive person, naive boy who did not know much about anything. So after my 12th, I came to Bombay, and I knew I had to come to Bombay because Bombay is where everything is. I had to convince my parents to let me go to Bombay.
Right.
So I really studied hard. I topped in my college and school, got here in Jai Hind. And my parents, I would say, are they are the reason that they let me be what I wanted to be because they put faith in me. They let me come to Bombay at the age of 17. Because that's a tender age where you can either go this way or that way. You know, you can either lose your direction, and but they had all the faith in me that I would not go rogue or I wouldn't do wrong things. And
Must be a good.
I actually tried to be a good kid. I was a good kid, yeah. But then I tried real hard to build confidence in them so that they let me be here without any stress. Because for a parent, now I'm a parent of a 15-year-old. I realize if my son says that, Papa, I want to go to Bangalore to study, I would palpitate. It would be so stressful for me because letting your child go at such a tender age when you really want to guide your child in every direction.
Yeah.
And at that age, my parents, with open arms, they let me come to Bombay. Now I realize how much faith they must have had in me at that tender age of mine that they let me come to Bombay. I know it just sounds like letting another 17-year-old come go to a city to study. But coming to Bombay was not only for studying. They knew I wanted to pursue my career as an actor. So, firstly, nothing, not at all. But they knew that I wanted to get into acting. So, for them, from my family, nobody has ever, ventured in this direction as an actor. We come from a business family. So for them to, let me just come to Bombay to pursue my dreams, and that too in a career which was so glamorous at one end, but also scary because there are a lot of people connect this career to with a lot of wrongs, which is again, I would not say it's a career thing. It is a totally a personal choice when people do wrong. People do wrongs in every career. It's just that acting and modeling is glamorized. That's why people just it's a easy way to blame it. So, but too hyped up. But the fact that the parents should my parents understood that and let me be. So I really,
Blessed.
yeah, I would feel really I was blessed.
Yes.
And I feel more about it now when my son is the same age. So if my son says, I was just thinking while coming that if my son says that I want to go someplace, say to New York or even somewhere in India to study abroad or study in some other town, how would I react and how would I feel? Because you get so attached to your kids.
Yeah. Also insecure.
Insecure, of course, because you want the best for them and it's such a tender age. Hats off to my parents. They say ना कि आप जब बाप बनते हो ना, आप जब पेरेंट्स बनते हो ना, तभी आपको पता चलता है कि what are the things that the parents go through. Now I really feel and understand what my parents must have gone through at that point in time. So having said that, of course, I think as also every person when we grow, हम जब जैसे बड़े होते जाते हैं, the respect for our parents starts growing. We understand at every stage in our lives that what they must have gone through when they were this age, when they were raising us up. So वहाँ से then I came to Bombay. I got in Jai Hind after my 12th for my graduation. I wanted to get into Mithibai and I was very sure because of my percentage I would get in there. But that particular year they had some centralization stuff and I could not get into Mithibai. And then the next only option was Jai Hind, so which is in town, which is I was in commerce. And see, coming to Bombay was my only motive.
Okay.
I topped in my college in Sholapur, and after coming to Bombay, I became such an average child in studies. I was not at all interested in studies after that. So I was just in my 50-60% wala zone. And before that, in 12th, I secured around 79% in commerce, which is I think quite an achievement because commerce is 79. It was quite a big day at that time.
You must be also trying some active class.
So after I came to Bombay, see, I was a total newcomer. I did not know a single soul over here, no filmy connection, nothing. I had to start actually from a scratch. मुझे कुछ मैं किसी को नहीं जानता था. So the first year, I just got to know people over here.
Yeah.
I started interacting with my college friends. Also, what happens in Mumbai is when you join in your first year, which is after 12th, people are not so accepting.
Yeah.
So that was my first struggle in Bombay to be accepted by my college mates. Because in 11th and 12th, they already have made friends and groups.
Correct. And also coming from small town.
And coming from a small town, my English was not so polished. I used to make grammatical mistakes. My pronunciations were kind of weird at that time. Because though I'm from a convent school, but आपको पता है कि छोटे town में they don't speak in English always, even in a convent school.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that was not a very strong struggle where to overcome those fears. But just to fit in into Bombay as a person, it took me a year or two because at that age, that tender, vulnerable age, you just want to be a part of the entire gang, everyone around you, in college also. To be accepted just as a student, as a person.
Yeah.
And there were already groups made 11th, 12th, which is first year, and I joined in 13th, which is the first year. So first year, I just took it easy and tried to merge with the crowd, merge with people, make friends. Then I became a part of a lot of Hindi Parishad and other acting groups and all, college theatre and all. And then I started looking out for other ventures. So first I joined was Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, which is at Churni Road, Bhavan's College. There used to be a teacher called Girish Sir.
Mhm.
So I joined his evening classes But that was a very ऐसे आने जाने वाला thing. But over there, I got to know some couple of people, and through, I got to know people. And the first kind of professional thing that I attended was Nadira Baba's workshop,
Okay.
which was in my second year of college.
Okay.
And there I made a lot of friends. We were about 80 of us over there in the workshop. So I made a lot of friends from my area where I used to stay and otherwise.
That was your exposure.
That was my first proper exposure to acting and people connected to acting.
Wow.
Then I became a part of the same acting group for a year and a half, where I just did backstage and helped people in costumes, in production for the theater. I did not assisted them, helped. I did like what a spot guy would go do,
Yeah.
go get a chai or pick up stuff and all. So when you do theater, I'm sure everybody who does theater knows that when you do backstage, you have to do all of it right from the scratch. You know, there's nothing, and there's no job division. And that at that time, there never used to be a job division. If you're doing theater, you may have to go and get the tea. You may have to sweep the floor. You have to lift the trunks. You have to do the costumes, the lighting, the props, everything.
Just to get to know the environment.
Yeah, and I think that 1.5 year at the age of 18, 19, what I did, when you come to Bombay with great dreams that you want to be an actor, you've seen the glit and glam, and you see all this. So it actually pacifies you. It gave me a lot of patience in life. It taught me a lot of patience in life. Because for 1.5 year, you're just seeing, you're not being kind of exploited. You are doing out of your own will. But a person, if it all depends on your attitude, how you take it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And which is good, I think, because it gets you down to a ground level where you start from.
As an artist,
Yeah, and also you get a lot of patience in life. Nothing, if anything comes like this, I believe it goes like this. Be it easy money, easy fame, easy work, it just goes like this. You've seen so many people who've just come out of ashes and gone back to ashes.
when
Overnight stars and overnight flops, you know. So I think if your initial years, if you are really, if they're hard hitting and if you have to really work hard and struggle, it chisels you. It eventually gets you in a very nice zone where you value every bit of it. You know. So that 1.5 year, I just did backstage, and I'm quite happy. I always, when I look back, I feel that it was a very good time where I got to see good actors performing in theater. And so after that, during the course, I started meeting a lot of actors. So along with them, I used to go for auditions. That's when the audition phase started.
Okay, so auditioning for
Ads and television.
Okay, good.
And at that time, it was very basic, you know, not, I'm talking about 97, 98, which is almost about 26, 27 years ago, 26 years ago.
Right.
It was very, very basic, you know, you used to go to production houses, give your pictures, and we did not have phones at that time. We used to have landlines and little later pages. So, but when I started,
Wait, or friends like audition.
no, there was those were all fake ones. Newspaper prints and all were all fake ones. But what the basic process at that time was, you go to production houses, be it films or television, you go, leave your pictures, and there was no casting director or casting agent or anything. There used to be a person who used to sit at the desk of that production house, or some of the assistant directors, or if you know a director, they used to take a call. So you go, leave your pictures there, and then you wait for a call from them.
Right.
That's how it used to be. Very simple at that time, very organic. Now you have to go through so many different phases, phases where, yeah, it has become more transparent, but you never know what goes in between these days. Over there, I'm telling you, I mean, it was a lot more simpler. You just go there, you know whether it's going to happen or not. You don't have to.
It was very close.
Very close net. You know, I mean, if you know a director, you would ask, sir, hey, kuch hai nahi hai, then you would know it is not happening. Then you would move ahead and go on for something else.
Very direct.
Yeah. So at that time, we got to know that there was a school show happening, which required a lot of kids.
Mhm.
And so I, along with my friend, we auditioned for Hebepure. And it did not happen immediately. You know, I auditioned. My first audition happened somewhere in October 1997.
Wow.
And then there was one more audition, couple of auditions, and they needed 7 kids, 7 guys, 7 girls in Hibipure. So they shortlisted 10 boys and 10 girls, and that happened somewhere in around Feb 1998.
Yes, you got the call.
Yeah, for the workshop. So the Hibipure team arranged a workshop of 20 people, 20 kids, out of which they're gonna shortlist and do go down to final 14.
Wow, that was a very professional.
Very, very professional way. So we had a 15-day workshop, and the reason because they wanted to have the workshop was, if I don't know whether you've seen Hepipura or not, but that was a show which showed a friendship of 12 years of kids in 12th standard. So they wanted to have that close-knit bond amongst the kids who were going to perform. So they wanted to see if who gels with whom, what happens if you keep 20 kids, who really,
Yeah.
and they were recording, the director and the writer were there, they were the equations, and they were seeing how people are interacting. And I was kind of a little happy because they wanted a plump guy. And amongst the other 10 kids, I did not see any other plump guy. So I saw my chances very bright. And I was little plump. I was not as plump as this. If a normal guy's weight is about 60, 65 in that category, my weight was 75. I was just 10 kilos overweight. But there was no other overweight guys. So I was kind of sure that बाकियों का पता नहीं, मेरा तो I'm sure होने वाला है, हो ही जाएगा. So, but I mean, I was very happy and I gave my 100% to the entire thing.
I mean, that's
No, but no, but the anticlimax has to come.
sure.
Yeah. So when people were getting signed and all, contracts were being made and all, I was called by the EP, the executive producer, and I was told that I'm sorry, but we can't go ahead with you. And I was so doomed. I was like, why? So he said that the producer feels that out of the 7 kids, they need to have distinction. So if the character name was Roger for the character I did in Ipipure, so if that fat guy Roger has to be fat, he can't be little plump, he has to be nicely fat. So it will stand out. That's how the faces will. It's like, and but let's see. We are not saying outright no. We are looking out for other options, and we'll let you know in a couple of days. So I remember those 15 days after that they had told me you have to wait for 15 days. Waiting period was the worst time I've ever experienced because there was so much of excitement, nervousness, palpitation because none of us knew that Hippipure would be such a cult show, a big show. But for us at that time, whatever first things in life happen to you, you're very attached to them.
Yeah.
So Hippipure, the workshop itself was so exciting with different, kids from different college and different environment that an excitement had already built up. And somewhere down the line, I felt I would definitely make it to it and be a part of it. And suddenly I was told that I wouldn't be a part of it. So I was kind of a little crashed, not little, very crashed. And I was very upset, in fact.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was no phone or pager, like I said, only a landline number. So I remember at that time, I had actually gone and got that answering machine phone. So I would not miss a call from the production house from them. Because I was scared. I did not want to miss, not dedication, I was scared. I did not want to miss that call. So I had installed that, and that had cost me quite a lot at that time, I remember. I had installed that and I was waiting for a call. Okay, whatever, I needed an answer.
Yeah.
I was very tensed those 10, 15 days. So at the end of those 15 days, I got a call that we've decided to go ahead with you only because we could not find any other thing. And the director has really convinced the producer and she wanted you. I was like, whoa. And I really owe whatever I am today a great deal to our director, my Hebepuri director, Nupur. I say this every time whenever I give an interview. And at Nupur, yeah, no, I mean, I have not worked with Nupur after Hepipure, but whenever I get a chance to thank her in public, I always thank her. That thank you, Nupur, so much for having me in Hepipure because that gave me an immense confidence as an actor, and it gave me a base to what I am today. Even after 25 years today, uh, if it had not been for Hebe Pure at the beginning of my career as a character actor, I do not know how much I would have been able to sustain myself in this profession as an actor.
And also build on.
Build on it, because for a character actor, it's very important to have a very strong base.
Yeah.
For a lead guys, it eventually after one show, second show, even in Hebe Pure, people who were playing normal characters got lead shows. I've never had a lead show in my entire life. But especially for a character actor to have a first show as a very strong show and a strong character is very important. And
Base.
it makes a great base. And thank you, Nupur, again for having me.
That we have you.
So that is how Hebe Pure happened. And then we shot the pilot in a couple of months. It got approved and then came on Z. 21st October 1998 is when Hebe Pure aired the first time. And this year, what a feeling, yeah. And this year, in 2023, it's gonna be 25 years.
Wow. Say cheers to that.
Yes.
So,
Hebe Pure, Hebe Pure, Hebe Pure.
wow. What a story.
So Hebe Pure has really been a very strong base for me in my career. And not, I would say this for all the actors who were there in Hebe Pure, the entire gang of kids, that some of them have already done works and most of us were newcomers, but I would say it for all, I'm sure, and everyone would agree that it gave us a very strong base as an actor and a very strong holding in this industry, because even today, uh, that generation or generation after that, people who were in their 90s or in 2000, the kids who are now in their 30s or 40s or 50s, if you talk about Hebe Pure, they would remember that, oh yeah, there was a school show. Used to come home and, watch that show and go back to school the next day and talk about it. We used to relate with the characters. We used to name these, our friends as the characters and talk about it. So, and it's happened so many times when I go to different cities or abroad, and random people come up to me with my son and my wife, and they recognize me from Hebe Pure. They said, I feel so good to have been, a part of their childhood. They say that, and my coincidentally, then the director decided to change the character name of my character in Hebe Pure from Roger to Mehul. So my character name in Hebe Pure was also Mehul,
You're real.
my real name. So even today, if people come up to me and they call me as Mehul from Hebe Pure, so it's my real name.
Huh.
So it makes me feel good. And they say that, and I feel good that I have been a part of their childhood,
Oh, yeah.
They are growing up years.
I said, picked up.
And there's no better feeling to, be remembered by someone where you have been a part of their childhood.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lifetime. I mean, when there's a different thing when if you're doing right now, I'm doing Anupama, and if somebody comes up to me and recognizes me because of that, it's a good feeling. Definitely. But if somebody recognizes me because of Hebe Pure, it's a great feeling. It's another level because that was 25 years back. And people who see me in Hebe Pure have a different happy smile, because it's not a fan, it's not that a TV theater, it's something that you were part of their childhood. Those nice, sweet memories. So that is something I think full of joy, and whoever has been a part of Hebe Pure would experience this always. But they happened, and how it happened is the next obvious stage is going and looking out for movies. So I started looking out for production houses which were in that genre making movies. So Mohabbatein was again a movie where they needed youngsters. So went and met Nikhil Advani, who was the associate on Mohabbatein with Adi. And he kind of saw my work, and Rushad had also come along with me. So he saw mine and Rushad's work, and he was quite happy with it. They took a couple of our auditions, and we were on the movie.
Amazing.
So, and I feel so proud and happy that I have been a part of such a big cult film again. Though, yeah, and though with no major lines or a lot of screen footage, but again, it's a growing process of an actor what I got to learn from that movie, look, being on the set, being around big actors at that time, great director, is what has taught me to be patient and grow in life. Though, I mean, the movie per se for me as my career has not done any great thing, but I always will be proud to have been a part of such a big movie called Mohabbatein. And no regrets. And I say with no, a lot of people feel, kind of awkward and to, acknowledge that, yeah, I have been a part of that movie, but I don't. I very proudly feel and say that though a minuscule part of that movie, I have been a part of that movie and I'm proud of it. Yeah, yeah, I'm proud of it that I've been a part of that movie.
But how was your experience? Like, did you,
So I was a child, like starstruck with people around. एक जगह पे यश जी, आदि, जिसने दिल वाले दी थी, इतनी बड़ी फिल्म, and there were big stars like Shahrukh, Amitabh, Aishwarya, Uday, Jimmy, sab, Jugal, the other girls. They were obviously newcomers at that time, but obviously Shahrukh and Amitabh ji. तो starstruck थे, अच्छा लगता था to be around in the same working space. Uh, observe, yeah, बहुत अच्छे. I mean, used to feel so good being around. Just the feeling of being around them was a very feeling of being belonging to a film industry or a television industry at that time, because we all were very naive at that time, 19, 20-year-olds, and from a non-filmy background. And coming and being around these kind of people used to make us feel that, yeah, we have come to a place where you're working with actual film industry people. We felt a part of being a part of the film industry. We are learning. Though we did not have great scenes to do in the movie, we were standing along with the actors, and but we got to learn so much. We got to observe so much. And again, like I said in theater, how I got patience by doing Mohabbat, I got a lot of patience. I got to know that, yeah, when you're doing a movie, and it's such a big ensemble. So even being a part of it, you get to learn so much. And it was a great experience. Made I got very close to Rushad in the making. We already had done Happy Pure, and in this movie we were together. So Rushad and I are still 25 years later, very good friends, very thick friends, and we look out for each other. We have each other's back, and it was a great experience.
Annie, how did you choose your, like you said that you consciously went for TV?
Yeah, so in Mohabbatein, I realized that while doing Mohabbatein, that at that time the films were very uh, in a particular way. If you're not playing a lead or a second lead, to even get a strong character role in the movie, you need to be an established character actor, and we were very beginners at that point in time. So I got offers for a couple of films as again friends role, which were not very meaty, or a younger brother, older brother role. So there was not much to do. So at that point, I felt consciously that I would not do films. I yeah, and in television also I was doing character roles. Not that I was getting lead roles in television. I was doing very happy doing character roles, but there was scope to perform. You know, so yeah. We find the craft comes later, but at least scope to perform at that time, so that as an actor you get confidence where you need to start making a base for yourself. You know, another thing which I realized at a very young age, which I feel a lot of people kind of take a lot of time to realize, is you should know where you fit in. Very important for a person in life or in your profession, especially in acting.
Where you're best at.
Where you fit in, not best at. Of course, the best at comes later, but where you fit in. Now, when I say where you fit in, means uh, I knew in my considering my physicality, I would never be able to pull off a lead. If you go for an audition, you're 19, 20, you're not exposed to this world, this kind of profession, what leads are, second leads are. But when you go with people, all your friends test for a leads character, right? So if as a person I would have wanted to test for a leads character and felt bad about it that I'm never being accepted for that, and I would have just doomed myself. But I realized it pretty soon that no, I'm a character actor, and my all my life with this kind of physicality, I will always be a character actor.
So rare actually, because like you said, everybody aims for the
Leads, yeah. So I knew if the show needs a character actor who's plump, like Mahi में एक show आया था where you need a fat girl or a fat boy, then I may get a leads part. But otherwise, I would all my life be a character actor. And I understood that at a very young age and I made peace with it. So I was never complexed about work. That has given me a lot of peace since the beginning. And that is why people also say that Mehul too positive है, तेरे से negativity नहीं आती. We don't feel threatened by you or we don't feel competitive and we don't feel negative around you. Because I know that I don't feel jealous. I never used to feel jealous or feel bad that अरे यार उसको lead मिल रहा है, उसको मेरे से ज़्यादा पैसे मिल रहे हैं, क्यों? No, that never came across me because I knew where I fit in. And in my own zone and I had made peace with it and I was very happy with it. So yeah, and that maturity, I don't know how, but it just came. I think by living alone in Bombay, when you are put to, do your own things at a very young age, you get to learn that. So that came across to me very fast, and I was very much at peace with myself regarding that.
the right thing.
Yeah, and that is what I would like to tell everyone, even now, that अगर आप यहाँ पे काम करने आ रहे हो बॉम्बे में, to be an actor, see where you fit in, what your talent is today. Today, there are thousand more avenues. In our times, there was just one thing. Today, you all can do so many things. OTTs, your reels, your so many platforms to do stuff. So there's so much of work happening, and you just find your niche. You find where you fit in, what you are best at.
You can also independently.
Yeah, independently do it. There are so many things now. Earlier, we used to just keep thinking, हाँ यार हम एक ना short movie अपने इससे बनाते हैं 2-4 हज़ार में ऐसे अपना setup बना के. But today, you just need your phone to do it. If you have an idea, just shoot it.
We are living in the best time.
I mean, it's so easy now. So easy now. Earlier, it used to be in process to even shoot a 5-minute film. You would have to hire a camera. You would have to. चलो friends वैसे तो आ जाते हैं सब acting acting करने. But even that technical stuff of lights and camera and editing and post
Far-fetched.
so far-fetched and money consuming. Today, it has become almost at your fingertip,
Everybody just started.
and everybody can do what they want. Like I have just purchased a software on my phone for 2,500 3 years back. Every year I have to renew it, but I do all my editing on it.
Which one is it? For
Uh,
the audience.
It is actually banned now. It was a Chinese software, but now it just keeps happening in loops. So it's banned now. But any of these softwares which are available even now, you have to go for a paid software. Just see the non-paid ones. You try what works for you, and then just go for the paid version. And trust me, the paid versions of the software, which are about 2,500, 3,000 a year, are very, very good. Very good. You can do almost as good an editing as not as professional as the studio, of course, but you don't even need that for if you are doing a normal YouTube video. You don't need that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you don't even need a laptop. I'm telling you, you can do everything on phone. I did so many of my cooking videos in lockdown on that software. Everything, right from it.
As you have to check his Instagram page, if you have not, it's extremely entertaining. But talking about comedy, as well.
So again, like I said, I realized my niche being because of my physicality. I was always a plump boy. So, and I was never ashamed of that. Am very comfortable in my skin. I have no problems of, removing my shirt in public or changing or on screen. A lot of people feel embarrassed that पेट दिख रहा है, ये कैसे वो कैसे. I had never, I had, and as a, I had never any inhibitions about my body or my how I looked. So I think that helped me overcome so many things because no, no, it came. I'll tell you how it came to me because my brother's fatter than me at home. So I always felt I was thin. So in school, I had a friend who was fatter than me. So I never had a complex. Yeah, no, I did not surround when it happened. So there are two reasons for a person to get complex. Either he's always being pinned, or people keep talking, "Arey tu mota hai, mota hai." So I was never told that in my childhood. There were other fatter people around me. So I just, I felt very comfortable. So I had never felt, I was never made aware of it. So I was always very at peace with it. So even when I came in this profession, I realized that, okay, I'm a plum guy. I should leverage. And there's nothing I can do about it. And someone told me actually that if you lose weight, you'll be a part of all the thousand other people who are working, who are in the same race. If you're fat, of course. Yeah, if you're fat, you have your own market. There are how many good looking, cute looking, good actors who are fat. So I was like, yeah, I did not know at that time I was cute looking or a good actor, but I took it, yeah, I can actually develop my market over there. So I said, okay, okay, I'm very happy, comfortable in my skin. So, and because of the physicality, usually people categorize you as a comic actor when you're plump. So it's very difficult to place a plump actor in a normal television show or a sitcom in a serious role. So, and I was okay with it. So that's how the comedy thing. Of course, I really enjoy. I feel, see, people feel it's very easy to make a person laugh. I think it's one of the most difficult things to make a person laugh. And it is very easy to do serious roles. There's nothing in it. It's like a cakewalk for me. Yeah, yeah. Dramatic roles, serious roles, angry roles. But I think it's a very, people who can make a person laugh, really, they have the craft, and it's a very difficult thing, I must. Oh yeah, I think it's a universal fact today. In fact, I would love you to kind of shed some light on, how do you do it as a craft? No, it's all about observing, I feel, and about reactions and the timing. And it's instinctive. Instinctive. Eventually, it comes comedy. या तो आपके पास टाइमिंग होता ही होता है, या फिर इट यू लर्न विथ years of watching people and learning, seeing comedy scenes and great actors. It's a mix. So for me, it has always been a mix of it. I had a little bit of timing and I had that thing to learn and watch people. So with years of experience and seeing people learn or seeing people perform, I've kind of, when at that time I used to watch a lot of comedy shows and pick up from there. So yeah, I felt very much at home. I feel at peace if there's a comedy scene that's come to me. No, I don't hate. See, that comes now. See, I'm again telling you, serious stuff, dramatic stuff, angry stuff. For any actor, it is very easy. Very easy. Yeah. Comedy, you give it to anyone, it is like a challenge. So I always feel a person who can do comedy can definitely pull off any other emotion very easily. You ask any comic actor, is it difficult to pull any other emotion? He'll say, no, it's a cakewalk. If you can pull off comedy, you can pull off any emotion. Yeah. So, so I think that's how the comedy thing started, and it is still on. It's gone to a different level now with reels, and so now with reels, it's so interesting that you have to make a point in 10-15 seconds. That's another challenge. Now reels have become like ads. Otherwise, there were scenes for 2 or 3 minutes or 1.5 minutes where there used to be a couple of punches. Now, reels are 10 to 15 seconds, wherein you have to give a punch. You have to have a beginning, middle, and an end in 15 seconds, which is so difficult. Like an ad, people don't realize when you're shooting an ad, why are ad directors paid so much? Because they are giving you a story, an entire story in 15 seconds. There's a structure. What you see in a minute or two in a scene, they're giving you in 15, 20 seconds. So that is the skill.
But do you script your reels like
Yes, at times I do. So anything, whenever you're talking amongst friends, and if you see, if you feel that there's some punchline you said or somebody else has said, I write it down or probably now have a voice note saved, and then work on it and make a reel.
So it's very kind of organic.
It is very organic. It has to be organic if it is. See, now reels again, people like it if it is very day to day thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what we are talking right now. If I make you laugh right now,
Yeah.
then or if I make you smile or laugh or a little louder laugh, so I would know where it actually is working.
Like the
And
pulse.
well, the pulse, and it can't be over dramatic or over melodramatic or it has to be very natural. Even if you are able to get a smirk on person's face, then your reel will work.
Yeah, it's like
No,
it's happening in
yeah.
your veins.
Yeah, so making a reel or making the content is again very organic, and one has to have a pulse of what will work.
Yeah. 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 And I think comedy is something which connects to masses.
It does.
We all are, carrying so much baggage. I think that's what we're seeking. I mean,
We all want to just smile for a time, for a moment, and in today's age, I think the attention span of all of us has become very less. Like if we don't like anything for more than 4 or 5 seconds, immediately we flick.
spoil for choices, right? I mean, we have too many.
Like our thumb or our finger will keep just flicking. So to grab that attention of your audience in a very few seconds is very difficult. It is an art. It is more difficult now.
True. So for aspiring actors, especially comedy, so do you have some guidance to give them who's just starting? I mean, especially because it's a tough.
I think just see first, like I said, if you are instinctive, if it comes, comedy comes naturally to a person. If it does not, and if you really want to venture in a comic zone, watch people who do comedy because it is very important to know the timings. Comedy is all about reactions, not actions. If I do a funny action, if I do a funny action, and if there's no reaction from you, the punch will go flat.
It's fine.
So if only when you laugh or smile, my punch works. It is all about reaction. If you give a great line and if I keep a poker face, you may laugh like that, but I'm doing this. Maybe my poker face may get a smile, but for that punch to work, I'll have to give you a nice reaction.
Yeah.
So comedy is all about reaction. Comedy is all about uh, doing the right thing at the right time, not stretching things. Even that reaction or your punch, you need to know to draw a line. You can't be pulling or stretching it too much. If you stretch it too much, the charm goes away.
So, I mean, during a scene, like let's say you have a script, do you kind of have a method to it, or it's just kind of instinctive?
Comedy is again a actor's zone. Director does help, but it is a lot to do with actors. So if your co-actor is very good, if your co-actor is supporting, and if you get along with your co-actor, then things are like this, you know. There's yeah, there's this kind of chemistry between you all, and there's a give and take.
So it becomes easy.
It becomes easier, and I hope that I mean, if comedy is shot on a multi-camera setup or 2 or 3 camera setup, like what we have right now, because it's very difficult to create the same moment in comedy. Like if the same kind of punch, yeah, same kind of punch cannot be created in 2 takes, similar punch. So it's very important to have your same reaction to what I have done.
That's
Other, yeah, so a multi-camera setup always works in comedy. There are small, there are small things about comedy that very few layman or audience understands or realizes it. Like I did this one web series on a channel, OTT channel, and it had a 5 camera setup, kind of a revolving stage and all. And I was so happy doing it because we had to shoot only once. It's called Sandwich Forever. I did 2 episodes of it. It had come 2 years ago. So it was very good actors, all Atul Kulkarni and Kunal Roy Kapoor, and so They should shoot. They should read for one day. Do the blocking the next day. Only the blocking with camera, not shooting with costumes. And third day, shoot 2 episodes in a day or an episode in a day. And it used to be chronological and like how they used to shoot abroad with 5 cameras. Yeah, like a lot. So with the 5 or 6 camera setup in comedy, it works so wonderfully that the same scene you need not reshoot it twice because you're getting everything and you're getting reactions of everyone.
And the first
And
is rare.
maybe the first take or the second take, but the same take reactions, like what I was trying to explain that in comedy, it is very difficult to recreate the same action or reaction or the punch in 2 takes. In similar punch in 2 takes, you may create a different, better, or a worse punch. But to keep that in the single take, it works really beautifully with multi-camera setup. Yeah.
It's a very good shared with us. So, I mean, again, I was talking to you about spirituality. How do you define it for yourself?
For me, spirituality is being happy with yourself. Yeah, just it's being at peace. Whatever makes you feel good about yourself and happy about yourself is being spiritual. Now, one need not chant something or meditate or whatever. If I like cooking, I may do cooking. If I like talking, I may do talking. If I like drinking, I may drink. If I like going out, I may go out and I may feel spiritual. If I like traveling, I may travel and feel spiritual. So spiritual is whatever makes you feel happy and content.
Beautiful. Let's heal,
Let's heal,
evolve,
evolve, enlighten,
celebrate,
and celebrate life.
hip hip hooray!
Hip hip hooray! Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And it's been a bigger delight.